Don't pay a quarter, don't pay a dime, don't pay a penny, don't waste your time. If half a penny is all he asks, don't give him any. Lay off his tracks, my half a penny is what he'll say. Still a steep price, just walk away.
Good morning, Big Nation, folks, for guys and everything in between and beyond. My name is Roy, host of Mahapanies, the host of these Penny Quickies. We're going to talk about the game against the Magic, loss against the Magic. I'm going to talk also about the game that we have today, the first of three, second of a back-to-back with 1 day rest, and then another back-to-back against the Bulls. I know I look like Meep from the Muppets, but it's not exactly what it is. Again, this is just a very minor, insignificant health condition that forces me to wear this mask because I feel more comfortable not showing my face than showing it. But still, please do follow us at Mahapanies on Facebook, at Mahapanies1 on Instagram. I'm going to start posting there as well, just so we can talk and hopefully, again, join us. Anybody has anything good to say, if anybody has any kind of information that they'd like to share here, this is a platform and I invite you to it. In any case, let's get to it. So, I have my thoughts kind of organized, but again, ADHD. All right, so we're going to try to make this into an important segment, okay, from now on. And this is going to be our news, right? The Penny News. I'm going to find a way to kind of show it. I'm going to suggest a name if you want in the comments. But okay. First of all, we saw the performance yesterday from Fontecchio. And as Ref shows, right, Champs Charania, he reports that unfortunately the Miami Heat were not able to get the Bucks because they were unwilling to include Fontecchio into the package. Without Fontecchio, I don't think the Miami Heat can do absolutely anything in this world. That's news number one. A second piece of news is that Pelle Larsson actually slapped in the face for the 74th time this season. He broke the record previously set by Jerenda Masulos from Antipatiranistan. And at that time, he had a very successful 2-year season before he couldn't be on the court anymore due to an unfixable broken nose. And the third piece of news is that Spo has admitted that he has an allergy to bigs, and therefore he could not withstand wear on the court for more than 7 minutes. And this is where we start, because there are a few things to say, and a lot of them are connected to the team, right, and how the team performed. Because our performance, if we look at the divisions and how each quarter went, gosh, we had a horrible first quarter, right, from the middle to the end. Horrible first quarter. And then we had a tremendous second quarter. We had one of the most embarrassing quarters in the third quarter, right, of the season. And then we had a decent fourth quarter, but we could not dig ourselves out of the grave that we put ourselves in, turning the ball over 18 times to their 7. Talk about these numbers. So number one issue, turning the ball over. Number two issue, lack of energy. I saw this on 5 Reasons Sports. I'm going to post when we talk about Giannis, because of course it's going to have to be present on every single person who talks about absolutely anything nowadays. And he's become the most relevant, I think the most relevant, the most important target, right, of this and the summer, depending on how the situation develops, trade season, right? So first, let's kind of delve into the issues. Number one, we turned the ball over 18 times. Some of them were forced turnovers. Some of them were just total incapacity and inability to control the game. Pelle Larsson, I think he had a decent outing, in my opinion. But still, -9, 8 points, not being able to score simple scores. He only turned the ball over once. Andrew Wiggins had a -15. He had 16 points, but turned the ball over twice. Bam Adebayo had a great night, if you think about it. Continuing kind of the streak that he's been, -4 with 21 points, but 3 turnovers. And no personal fouls for Bam. I think that's important. I think that the highest is going to be Jaques with the +2. But Powell, only -7 versus Wiggins. I understand why, because of the scoring, 22 points, 5 personal fouls, 3 turnovers. But he did have a block and 2 of defensive rebounds. Kaz, again, -6. He only had 2 points. I think that he was one of the players that was showing more energy, getting the steals in the beginning of the game. He did have 2 steals early on. But, at the end of the day, -6, 2 points only, and 2 turnovers, right? Jaques had a +2 with 13 points. Again, 5 personal fouls. We saw that as well. But he turned the ball over 4 times. Nikola Jovic had a -4 with 2 points, and he turned the ball over twice. Drew Smith had a -7 with 13 points, and he turned the ball over once. The ones that didn't turn the ball over were the king of our team, Simone Fontecchio, with 23 points, the highest plus-minus, of course, with +8. No turnovers, right? Just 1 personal fouls, 2 assists, 5 defensive rebounds. And then Khalil Ware, I don't know how he gets a -3 here, with 4 points, no turnovers, 1 block, right? 4 rebounds, 2 defensive, 2 offensive, in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. So we turned the ball over a lot. We are playing against a team that we didn't match up well in 3 previous occurrences this year, not counting the preseason. It's kind of, like they say, it's kind of important to win. Like I said, yesterday I really expected a win, or at least a better attempt at winning this game at home against the Magic. But unfortunately, our energy just was not there. There are a lot of games being played. The schedule right now is I'm going to say this, season after season, especially when it starts coming to this point, more or less in the season. Guys, understand this, especially for someone coming from a different country. You don't need 82 games. You don't need 82 games. And adding that NBA play-in tournament, not play-in tournament, sorry, the NBA Cup, 83 games. We don't need 83 games. We just don't. We don't need to play any team 4 times throughout the season. There's no reason for that. The reason is strictly financial. The reason is that basketball is a much higher impact, but much less. You need much less, I don't know, endurance, I guess, than soccer, right? So soccer can only be played at the most twice a week. And basketball, you can have what you have right now, which is this is the second game this week after 2 days break, right? So the second game this week, a break, 2 games, so 4 games in 5 days, right? And then 5 games in 7 days. It's just, and we just had 5 games in 7 days, pretty much, when we went on the West Coast trip. So obviously being tired, obviously being banged up. Norman Powell has been criticized because of his defense. That is definitely something that needs to be criticized. It's not just his defense, it's knowing how much he's a good ball stealer, but other than that, he has no awareness, a lot less, in my opinion, than Hero. And he just doesn't, he's constantly being beat up on the defense, and he can't actually be hunted because he's not doing well. But of course, because of that kind of, being a little bit in the slump, but he still gave you 22 points. We still had one play, Simone Fontecchio with 23, Bam Adebayo with 22, Norman Powell with 21, Norman Powell with 22, Bam Adebayo with 21, Andrew Wiggins with 16, Jaime Jaques with 13. So it's not like we didn't have players in double figures, but look at the difference. Desmond Bane, 23 points. Paulo Banchero having an amazing night, 31 points. Wendell Carter Jr., that Bam Adebayo often attacked poorly and defended poorly as well, 10 points. 26 points to Black. Anthony Black really torched us when the gap became more apparent, both in the first quarter and in the third quarter. Jalen Suggs, no, but yeah, Tristan da Silva with 12 points. So, obviously, and yes, they shot 104 shots and they got 52 in. They shot 38 from three and they got 16 in. What happened to us? We only shot 34 from beyond the arc out of 88 attempts. So out of 88 attempts, we only made 44, which is exactly 50%, but only 88 attempts. What was an outlier? The defensive rebounds and the shots attempted. So obviously the team did not function as a team was supposed to function. And you have to really ask yourself, why was Ware not played more in a game that we needed him? In a game that he was actually, in my opinion, pretty impactful in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Coach Spo may say this is the untrained eye, but I am sure that this is not my sentiment alone. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So it's also on Spo. Maybe the turnovers are not on Spo. Maybe being tired is not on Spo. But how he uses that rotation, for example, using Myron Gardner because we didn't have Weir and Mitchell, in those past games, and then no Myron Gardner at all. Using Simone Fonseca because he has a hot streak, but we know what's going to happen next game. Simone Fonseca is going to disappear as well because, unlike the news that we try to break in the beginning of every video, this is not the case. We actually hope that he can be included in any kind of deal that can help us get assets to get Giannis if it's still a possibility, right? Which we're going to talk about later. So horrible outing for us. But yes, 133, 124, the same as last time. They lost by 9 points. We had 48 rebounds and 42. So again, that trend continued. It was the turnovers and the lack of shots, and of course, not having the appropriate personnel to play. I understand being cautious after injury, like they said on 5 Reasons Sports. I don't understand the decision of only playing Ware for under 7 minutes. 36 assists to them, 27 to us, 12 steals to them, 6 to us, 5 blocks to us, 6 to them, but 18 turnovers to their 7. Both of us shot 50%, although they started like at 60, 65%, and then it kind of leveled up. We shot better from the 3-point line, 44% to their 42, and from the free throw line, 91% to their 76%. As far as the points, yes, they had a lot. They had double the second chance points that we had, and they had 8 more points in the paint. So 62 to 54 points in the paint, 20 to 10 second chance points, and only 1 more point in fast breaks, 18 to 17. So in all, the game was actually a lot more balanced. There were 11 lead changes. They were tied 4 times. The longest one was 14. The biggest lead, 17 to the Magic, 11 to the Miami Heat. And so we leave this at that. Let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bulls, right now, are 23-24. They're 1 below 500. 10th in the East. 8th in points per game at about 118. 9th rebounds per game, about 45. About 30 assists per game. So that takes them to 3rd. And they are 26th in opponents' points per game at almost 120. We went back to 8th in the East because we lost to the Magic, and that basically puts us the same number, right? 2 above 500. Pretty much the same situation that they are. And, yep, we are below them now. We are 3rd in points per game at about 120. We are 4th in rebounds per game. That went up about 3 from the beginning of the season, a few positions. I have about 46 rebounds a game. I have about 28 and a half assists per game at 7th. That didn't go up. And of course, opponent points per game, we are at 24th, just a little bit above. I did not see the offensive or defensive ratings. It's not that important to me right now because I think that unfortunately the Heat is in the level of the Bulls, and quite frankly, I've seen some great games. My favorite game that I've been in the arena was exactly the Heat against the Bulls. So the Jimmy Butler buzzer beater that won that game. So for the Heat, we have Davion Mitchell day-to-day with a shoulder injury. Tyler Hero was ruled out already with a rib injury to the Rozier NBA cover-up. And the Bulls don't have Trey Jones because of a hamstring injury. Zach Collins is also out with a toe injury. And Noah Esengwe out with a shoulder injury. And yes, as Spo said, right? I'm not gonna do that. This is all from Sports Illustrated, by the way. Every time I look at the injury reports, I look at Sports Illustrated. I cannot not mention them since I'm using their images. So anyway, this is it about the game, and I know this is going to be a little bit longer, but the truth is, I like what I'm seeing in terms of the packages being proposed. Most of them are going to include Tyler Hero. Any kind of realistic package is going to have to include where. But I'm going to say exactly what. First of all, we don't know what's going to happen. It's up to the agent whether he wants to. I mean, both Locked on Heat, Team to Beat with Code Geo appearance, which I really recommend those videos. And then, of course, we see on Twitter a little bit of that conversation as well being had, in which we don't know what's going to be the decision ultimately, right? This can happen in the summer. But for us to be in place to do anything that is significant, a Wiggins trade should happen. And so, just like Matt Hannifin said in the 5 Reasons Sports episode, just like Jablanca says, and I'm posting here on the screen, I'll believe it when I see it. I can't believe it now. I'll believe it when I see it. And we'll see what happens. And stay safe, stay dry, stay warm, and stay as happy as possible in this very complicated world of ours. And let's go Heat!